Good morning, dear participating teacher. On the very first day, I began my session with a small quiz. Today, I'm again giving you a small quiz containing 12 statements. So, what you have to do is please write on a piece of paper only the serial number of these statements, and against all these statements you have to give 5 point scale ranging from not at all, rarely, sometimes, often, very often. So please read each of these statements and tick mark the response in the appropriate column that most applies to you. You need not give the ideal one. You need to give your response in the appropriate column that most applies to you. I think the instructions are clear. So you can start with this quiz, and you can take 5 minutes. So for scoring part, please put a tick mark on serial number statement serial number 1, 7, 8, 10, and 11. I repeat, put a tick mark on statement serial numbers 1, 7, 8, 10, and 11. Now for these 5 statements, give a score of 5 if you have responded to not at all, 4 score to rarely, 3 score to sometimes, 2 score to often, and 1 score to very often. I repeat, please put a tick mark on statement serial numbers 1, 7, 8, 10, and 11. For these 5 statements, give a score of 5 if you have responded to not at all, 4 to rarely, 3 to sometimes, 2 to often, and 1 to very often. And for rest of the 7 statements, you have to score in reverse. That is, for the remaining 7 statements, you give a score of 1 if you have responded to not at all, 2 to rarely, 3 to sometimes, 4 to often, and 5 to very often. So then after this, compute the total score and write the total score in the chat box. So Charanjit Singh ji has already given a score of 44 before my telling the procedure of
Sorry, sir.
scoring.
I have to change it now.
Uh, so now please share your score. So scores are between 35 and 51. Scores between 35 and 51. Okay. Now let me explain the give the interpretation. Those who have got score between 44 and 60, those who have got score between 44 and 60, they are just wonderful. They get things done and they don't let anything stand in their way. Wonderful. So such people make a conscious effort to stay self motivated and spend significant amount of time and effort on setting goals and acting to achieve those goals. Even such people attract and inspire others with their success. So wonderful friends, and treasure this. And those who got score between 28 and 43, they are doing okay on self motivation, because this quiz is about how you motivate yourself, that is self motivation. So they are doing okay on self motivation. They are not certainly failing. However, they could achieve much more. So to achieve what you want, try to increase the motivational factors in all areas of your life. So read those statements where you got a score of say 1, 2, or 3, and try to put in effort to come near to 4 and 5. So you can identify those areas where you need to work more. And let me tell you, friends, that this particular quiz focuses on four important factors. One is self confidence and self efficacy. So, this is a part of being self motivated, that is, having good levels of self assurance, self confidence, self efficacy. And the statements number 1, 2, and 6, 1, 2, 6, and 8 pertain to self confidence and self efficacy. Now, coming to the second factor, which is shown by this quiz, is on positive thinking and positive thinking about the future. And for this, the author has written four statements: serial number 4, 9, 11, and 12. Friends, your life today is the result of your attitudes and your choices in the past. And your life tomorrow will be the result of your attitudes and the choices you make today. So you have to be very, very much positive. And the third factor that is depicted by this quiz is on setting strong goals and becoming focused. So for this, he has the author has given statement serial number 3 and 7. So, friends, a key part of building self motivation is to start setting strong goals, because strong goals give you a focus, a clear sense of direction, and the self confidence that comes from recognizing your own achievement. So you have to determine your direction through effective goal setting. And then the fourth factor is motivating environment. And for this, the author has given two statements, serial number 5 and 10. That is, the final thing to focus on is surrounding yourself with people and resources that will definitely remind you of your goals and help you with your internal motivation. So these are external factors. They will help you get motivated from the outside, which is different from the internal motivation. So, friends, in this session, we will learn, first of all, because for motivating self and others, as a person, we need to know what is meant by motivation, what are the types of motivation, what are the approaches to motivation, and what are the ways and techniques to motivate self and others. And simultaneously, I will be also sharing with you one or two videos to make you see self motivated. So motivating self and others. Now, when I say motivating others, it means motivating your students in the classroom, or motivating your subordinates in the department. Okay, so friends, in any organization, whether it is a class or a department or an institution, management wants to have good results. Even a teacher wants to have better performance of his students towards the attainment of some predetermined classroom objectives. Likewise, management wants better performance of its employees. The question is how it is going to attain those goals. Obviously, you would say that the students or the employees must have ability to do their work efficiently. Ability in terms of knowledge, ability in terms of skill. Okay, but does that suffice? Can the ability or training of students in the classroom or subordinates in the department alone yield good results? Certainly not. So, in order to have better performance in a classroom, in a laboratory, or in a department, or in an institution, the students or the employees should have the willingness or the eagerness to exert high level of efforts to reach goals in addition to their ability to do that work. Now, again, a problem before the management, before the teacher, how to have its trained and able students, employees who are encouraged, who are impelled towards the work. And this is precisely what we mean by challenge of motivation. That is what motivates people and how people can be motivated, or how you can motivate yourself. So, to motivate others, friends, you need to be self motivated, because if you yourself are not motivated, that how can you motivate others? Because if you are motivated, there would be a smile uh, on your face, you will be positive towards everybody, you will reinforce the others good behavior, you will identify the shortcomings, you will provide remedy. Okay, you will be positive. So you need to motivate yourself. Now, coming to what we mean by motivation. Motivation, as I told you, is a function of both ability, that is performance. I would say performance is a function of both ability and motivation. मैंने अभी बोला that only ability cannot lead to higher level of achievement. If a person is not willing, not eager to exert good effort, performance will be low. So, in order to enhance the performance of your students in the classroom or performance of your colleagues in the department, you need to inspire them. So, ability, then emotional stimulus. It is emotional stimulus that causes us to act in a particular way. It is a drive that encourages action or feelings, that is igniting the spark for action. So, it can persuade, it can convince, it can propel you into action. So, basically, motivation is concerned with why of behavior. Why of behavior, the reason behind people putting in effort. Motivation means developing an urge, developing an urge in a person to achieve an objective. Motivation means creating willingness to act. So, human motivation can be considered to be as an inner state that activates or moves a person toward a goal. So, motivation basically is a process that leads the individual to satisfy some need. The word motivation has been taken from a Latin word movere, means moving, means taking all the people together in the department or in the classroom to reach goal effectively and efficiently. Motivation refers to motives, motives in action. What is motive? Something that makes a person act in a particular way. And motives are expressions of a person's needs. The strength of each motive, the pattern of motives influence a person's perception of thoughts, actions, words. And friends, the motivated behavior is always a goal directed behavior, and the strength of motive tends to decrease if it is either satisfied or blocked from satisfaction. Now, you look at this image, what a girl is trying to do, she is trying to make horse to drink water, but the horse is adamant it is not taking water. So you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink. Well, it is okay, but you can make a horse want to drink by giving it plenty of salt first, isn't it? So this same line of reasoning applies to your students in the classroom. You cannot force your students to learn. You cannot force your students to learn, but you can make them want to learn by salting, salting, salting your teaching with techniques for creating the interest of the student. चटपटा बनाना है क्लासरूम में. You have to provide varied learning experiences. Many teachers, they come to the class and start giving dictation from their notes. Now the students, they say, why to attend the class? For the purpose of attendance only, because teacher is simply interested in completing the syllabi by dictation, through dictation, and it is available in the book. Teacher is not interacting, teacher is not, you see, asking the students to raise question. So the classroom teaching, you see, becomes dull and boring. And friends, you might have observed that in a teaching learning situation, you have come across a variety of student behavior. You see, some students attend classes regularly, isn't it? Some pay attention to activities organized in the classroom. Some find studies interesting and absorbing, and some find studies totally boring and are unable to concentrate. Likewise, some students excel in studies or in a particular subject, while others are just average or below average. So, friends, one of the factors that explains these wide differences in student behavior and performance is motivation. So, a teacher, as a manager, I would say, is faced with the question of how to motivate students for learning. Likewise, the HOD uh, wants to know how to motivate the subordinates towards the uh, towards the work or towards the goal of the department. So, motivation means what makes people put real effort and energy into what they do. It means getting people to do willingly and well those things which have to be done. Now, the question is, can I be motivated by others? I think no. You have to motivate yourself. However, other person can inspire you. So people can create environment that is motivating. Now, let us have a look at the process of motivation. Actually, motivation uh, begins with a need that exists within us all. And if the need is very strong, you won't be able to concentrate on anything else unless that need is met to some extent. For example, you are thirsty or you are hungry and you have to you have been given some task, I think you won't be able to concentrate unless that need for food or thirst is met to some extent. So if the need is not fulfilled, it causes tension. It could be psychological, it could be physiological tension. And what the person does, he engages himself or herself in an action to relieve, to get relief. Okay. So action means he prepares some action plan, he prepares some you see technique how to overcome that need, how to reach a particular objective. So you get you see relief. So friends, if the goal is achieved, the individual will usually engage in some form of constructive behavior, because where is goal? The need, for the need you establish a goal and prepare an action plan to reach that goal that will help you satisfy your need. So if the goal is achieved, the individual will usually engage in some form of constructive behavior. But if the goal is not achieved, the individual now has a choice of behaviors with positive or negative results. However, as a person, you need to think of one or not only one strategy, two or more alternatives. If you cannot get, you see, cannot easily achieve your goal, it means you need to employ another alternative. Don't get, you see, frustrated with that you are not, you have not achieved the result. Now coming to the kinds of motivation, there is extrinsic motivation. Okay. Extrinsic motivation means that it is not inherent, I would say. It is something which is administered by some external agent. Say in the classroom, on receiving a good response from the student, if the teacher says, "Wonderful, Rameshji, you have said very rightly, you are perfectly correct," that reinforces the behavior of the student. Likewise, in the department, please start giving some kind of appreciation from your core of the heart. You have done a good job. Or you can give the suggestion also. You have done a good job, but you can make it very, you see, best if you do in this way. So extrinsic motivation means need to complete a task or perform an activity for the sake of a reward or externally derived satisfaction. For example, employees who work to achieve good appreciation from the you see boss are externally motivated, and it is not inherent. At home, if father says, if you get all A's, you will get a bike. So it is not inherent, it is administered by some external agent. And this is when you are motivated by external factors that are given or controlled by salary or even by praise. Our jobs are usually based on extrinsic motivation, although there will be some intrinsic motivation involved if you enjoy aspects of what you do. Now, the second component, that is the intrinsic motivation. For example, students who aim for personal satisfaction. from reading a book, or those who have inherent desire to learn about a topic in mathematics is intrinsically motivated. So, intrinsic motivation refers to motivation that has been internalized and is the drive to do things for their own sake or for self reward. And this is when you are motivated by internal factors to meet your own personal needs. For example, some of you have got certain hobbies and you do every day. Why do you do? Because you enjoy them, not because you have to do. For example, someone is going for morning walk every day, whether it is a very sunny hot day or cold day, or someone is playing you see badminton every evening, not to show to others, but for your own satisfaction, for your own, because you know that that will give you happiness. So most hobbies and leisure activities are based upon intrinsic motivation. We do them because we enjoy them and not because we have to. Now, coming to the approaches to motivation, we will not learn the theories of motivation, only the application part I would let you know. So, motivation can be regarded as a function of a person's resistance to work or a student's resistance to learning. And several approaches have been reviewed as ways to decrease student resistance or person's resistance to work. There is one, a behavioral approach. This approach emphasizes the reinforcement of desired behavior through the use of extrinsic motivators like praise, monetary benefit, or reward. And this is the result of extrinsic motivation. You see, many behavioral psychologists, they believe that people are motivated to obtain reinforcers and avoid punishment. So this kind of motivation is not inherent in the behavior, but is, as I told you earlier, is administered by an external agent. Okay, in the classroom, teacher is the external agent. So this extrinsic motivation is conceived as a state when the individual does not learn of his own accord but under the influence of external motivational factors. And the behavioral perspective on motivation helps explain why students prefer particular subjects, why students spend time on assignments, why they try to please some teachers. So, according to this approach, there is something in the environment that reinforces these behaviors, or these behaviors help the individual avoid some punishment. So, use moderation when administering extrinsic motivation. Uh, Please do not overdo it. Otherwise, some employees may feel that you are trying to manipulate them by giving certain reinforcer. And additionally, they may only engage they may only engage in the desired behavior in order to obtain the reinforcement without understanding the long term benefit. Now, I say behavior modification has got, you see, three important elements. One is the stimulus. Stimulus is anything. Okay. any person, any event, or any object which leads to a response. And what is a response? It is a unit of behavior that follows the particular stimulus. And what is a reinforcement? Reinforcement is a consequence of the response. So if a particular stimulus response pair is accompanied by a desirable consequence, then it will be more likely that the stimulus involved will prompt the same response in future. You have given appreciation to the student by saying wonderful on his answer to a question. Definitely he would try to raise his or her hand again. But please make sure that you are not giving an opportunity to one individual always. You have to take people, all the students together, because you have to take all of them to reach the goal. So what you can do is, you have asked one question, let them raise their hands. Now, a student who has not raised his hand, you may ask him, probably he appears to be hesitating. What you can do is, you can break down that question into two or three small questions. The idea is to give him or her some hint. The idea is to help him to elicit some response. Okay, so हो सकता है because of language problem he is not giving his answer in an organized way, but the meaning is okay. Then you can say wonderful, you have said very rightly that के बाद you can give an organized answer. So now there are four techniques by which we can modify the behavior of our individuals, colleagues, or students in the classroom. Firstly, it is the positive reinforcement. We need to begin with positive reinforcement. A consequence that encourages the repetition of a given behavior is positively reinforcing. Good work done. Wonderful. And even you can call a particular employee or call a particular student by his or her name. Ramesh ji, you have said very rightly. You see, this is a very good technique to motivate other person, because a person's name is to him or her the most important and most sweetest sound. अगर मैं बोलता रोल नंबर 77, आपने बहुत अच्छा उत्तर दिया, it has no significance. Call everybody by his first name, or in north part of this country we put G also. Ramesh ji, Sarita ji, you are wonderful, you have done a good job. That will motivate, positive reinforcement. Second is the negative reinforcement, which many managers also call it as avoidance learning. This involves giving the person an opportunity to avoid a negative consequence by exhibiting a desired behavior. Suppose you have given some task to one individual, and every time that individual is presenting well organized, well prepared, task, but this time he has submitted the report and the report contains several spelling errors. Now you can call him or her to your chamber, say, Sarita ji, you have been submitting very good report in the past, but this time your report contains some spelling error and there are 2-3 points which are not in a sequence. तो पहले आपने पॉजिटिव कहा, फिर आपने उसको वर्क को क्रिटिसाइज किया, नॉट टू पर्सन. नाउ व्हाट सरिता जी विल डू, नाउ शी विल check it again, or she will after completing the report, she will also incorporate the spell check and see that all the headings are in a sequence before submitting to the HOD in order to avoid future criticism. That is, you have given an opportunity to avoid a negative behavior consequence by exhibiting a desired behavior. So, please, I say, please criticize the work, not the person, not this kind of feedback like your work is typical of you, short on facts and badly presented, very poor, जैसी आपकी शक्ल वैसा काम करके लेके आए, very poor. Now this will not be acceptable to any individual. Now these two techniques, that is positive reinforcement and negative reinforcement, can be used to increase the frequency of desirable behavior. Now coming to the third technique, that is extinction. It involves providing no positive consequence or removing previously provided positive consequence as a result of his or her undesirable behavior. So this is the third technique. You can ignore the person who has been doing incorrectly. And the fourth one is punishment, that is providing a negative consequence as a result of his or her undesirable behavior. So for punishment, you can call the student or the employee in your chamber, and there should not be any other person. So you see, positive reinforcement need to be given in front of everybody, in public, I would say. The punishment is to be given in private. Suppose one student is in the habit of disturbing the class every day. You can call him or her in your chamber, ask him whether my teaching is boring to you. What is the problem in my teaching? Don't ask about his problem. पहले अपने पूछिए कि मेरी टीचिंग में क्या प्रॉब्लम थी जिसकी वजह से आपको ये ऐसा करने में मजबूर होना पड़ा. He will tell you, sir, you have been giving only the oral discussion. You are not showing any video. You are not showing any, you see, visuals. You are not relating the content with the examples. So that is why I am not, because whatever you deliver in the classroom, that is bouncer for me. सिर से ऊपर से निकल जाता है, like that. So these later two techniques, that is extinction and punishment, can be used to decrease the frequency of undesirable behavior. Now coming to the second approach, that is the cognitive approach. Now cognitive approach, you see, make use of intrinsic motivational factors to bring forth a person's natural desire to maintain equilibrium and organization in their lives. And this is nothing but the intrinsic motivation. For example, intrinsic motivators lead the student to engage in a particular behavior because of the inherent value of doing so. जब आप टॉपिक को एग्जाम्पल के साथ रिलेट कर रहे हैं, एग्जाम्पल मे बी फ्रॉम देयर डेली लाइफ और एग्जाम्पल फ्रॉम द वर्ड ऑफ वर्क, जब वर्ड ऑफ वर्क का रेफरेंस देते हैं. सो इंट्रिंसिक मोटिवेशन is considered to be a state forcing the individual to do something or to learn something for his or her personal satisfaction, to broaden personal experience. For example, the feeling of satisfaction that working on some mathematics problem produces. You are not showing to others. You get happiness that you have solved the problem yourself. Or feeling of pride that learning to spell words correctly causes. So those who are intrinsically motivated are likely to prefer challenging work. They are not happy with the routine type of work. They have incentive to work for their own satisfaction. They take initiative. They attempt solutions to problem on their own. They are independent. They are not dependent. And the third approach to motivation is put forward by Mr. Abraham Maslow, who has given a theory based upon hierarchy of needs. He says when a person is actually motivated, he is in a state of tension and is ready to undertake a particular course of action to uh, satisfy his or her need. And he has arranged all the needs in the form of a hierarchy. And at the bottom of the hierarchy, he has put physiological needs at the base. Okay, so physiological needs include need for food, need for water, need for, say, fresh air, need for light, huh? So need for proper sleep. Because suppose a person is hungry, it means he is without food, he is starving. Under such circumstances, he wants nothing but some food. So food is the basic need, water is a basic need. So all the physiological needs, all the people operate at this level. Now once these needs uh, are met, the next in the hierarchy gets activated. Next comes the need for safety, need for security, protection, stability against the deprivation of lower level need, that is physiological need. Now if 100% people depend upon psychological need, we can say 80% people, this is giving you an example, this is not the database. I would say that few people are, you see, for safety need. Classroom mein, say, you have to give positive reinforcement. You are performing some experiment and you are not wearing lab coat, you are not you see taking precaution, and but you are asking your student to wear lab coat. How is it possible? By preparing, by displaying the posters, you have to, you see, practice yourself also. Then comes need for social. Now again, some percent of people, they are for satisfying social need, because the employees or the students, they don't want to work alone, they want to be in the company of friends. They need to feel accepted, receive affection, and be a part of group. Okay, need for self esteem, that is to feel that you are recognized in the environment. So once you say wonderful, you have said very rightly. Now the person's you see self esteem need gets satisfied, isn't it? So he or she would be you see happy, or he or she would be ready to ask question again, right? So ये need आप fulfill कर सकते हैं if you are you see giving positive reinforcement to them. And then the highest need in the hierarchy is self actualization need, that is the need to develop skills and potentialities to become what one believes one is capable of becoming. That is the tendency of the individual to become in actuality what he or she is potentially. Now अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव रीच्ड एट द स्टेज ऑफ सेल्फ एक्चुअलाइजेशन? ओनली अ फ्यू, क्योंकि जब आप 12th में थे, यू डिडंट वांट टू बिकम ए टीचर, है ना? बट मैनी ऑफ यू हैव जॉइंड द टीचिंग प्रोफेशन by choice, and remaining people have joined the teaching profession by force. And those who have reached at the higher stage have either become the sports person, poet, musician, singers, and so on. Now the question is whether we ever fully actualize. The answer lies in the individual. People actualize at different levels. Some people, for example, are satisfied with a bachelor's degree from a local college, isn't it? Whereas others feel a need for a master's degree or a doctoral degree from a prominent institute or university. Likewise, some individuals reach their full potential at a simple job in a local private polytechnic or engineering college, while others have a capacity for beyond that level. They are producing papers, they are obtaining higher qualification. They say, okay, on one day I want to be in a particular institution. Now, this need hierarchy theory was given by Abraham Maslow. According to this theory, if the lower level needs is met to some extent, the next need in the hierarchy gets activated only that. Now this theory fails because many people in the surrounding, they have achieved self actualization, but they have no money to buy good food, they have no house to live in, okay, they have no money to buy medicine, okay. Now there are number of factors which demotivate all of us. First is you see uncriticism, negative, that is negative, or a person indulges in negative self talk that I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So please say 10 times, yes, I can do it, yes, I can. You will get a lot of energy. So don't indulge in negative self talk. मेरे से ये नहीं हो सकता. I, you see, मैं आपको थोड़ा सा गवर्नमेंट जॉब कॉन्सेप्ट और प्राइवेट जॉब कॉन्सेप्ट में क्लियर करता हूं, and you will agree with me. In a government job, one says, if he can do it, let him do it. If he cannot do it, how can I do it? Now, in a private job, if he can do it, I can also do it. If he cannot do it, I must do it. I must do it. That is why you get recognition. So don't indulge in negative, and don't involve in public humiliation. If you want to punish some student or employee, call him in your chamber, not in front of others. Rewarding the non-performers, you get you see demotivated. Fear of failure, always you are succeeding, you are not preparing, you are not planning. Okay, you need to plan. Okay, give clear cut direction. If you want your student to say describe each of the three laws with one example. Ask the question in this particular language. Describe each of three Newton's laws of motion with one example. Don't ask question like what are Newton's laws of motion. Then low self-esteem, lack of priorities, planning, unfair treatment, poor standards, responsibility without authority, and hypocrisy. That is an expression of agreement that is not supported by real conviction. That is, you can say, insincerity by virtue of pretending to have qualities or beliefs that you do not really have. Now, the question is techniques of motivating self. So, firstly, make the task more intrinsically satisfying. देखिए काम हमें मिला है, बॉस ने दिया है, we have to do it. We can enjoy while working or we can cry out. मैं तो नहीं कर सकता, सब काम मुझे मिलते हैं. Let us enjoy it. Provide your own extrinsic rewards. Okay, if I finish this, okay, then only I will have a cup of tea. Or in the department you are working as you are HOD, you say to all the let us work together. You are also working, not कि आपने उनको काम दे दिया. You are also there. Okay. After this, we will have a good cup of coffee. I'll share with all of you a good coffee. Change your attitude, your approach to undesirable tasks, and think about why you do what you do. Set smart goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound, and prepare an action plan. You can also prepare alternative routes also. Now, sometimes the task seems so large and there are many steps, and the first step seems to be very tough. You can break your task down into smaller pieces. Even the first step can be broken down into smaller steps. Once you attain the first step, you get happy. You feel very much happy. You get satisfaction, and then try to put in effort to reach towards working for the second step, and so on. Accountability build कीजिए. Tell your colleagues or senior about your task. Very important, time management. On the very first day, I told you that all of us have been given 24 hours a day or 365 days a year. No one gets more or less. Even many a times we indulge in certain misconceptions about time management. That is making up time. 4 दिन थे, 2 दिन हमने ऐसे ही बिता दिए. Now 2 days are left. Now everybody is from you see on his everybody is on toes to complete the task. Maybe you want something from the other department, but you have not asked them, you have not given them proper time. Making up time. Once it is gone forever. Likewise, many people say that I don't have time. Abhi मैंने बोला everybody has got 24 hours a day, and still people say I don't have time. You must assert by saying that the task is not sufficiently important in my priorities to warrant taking time. So next time अगर आपको बॉस पूछता है कि रमेश जी I am sending you one task, please tell him honestly, sir, right now I am on this particular task, and if you want to finish this, the first task first, or the I should work towards the second task. Now it is up to the. So you have to intimate. So, and thirdly, time heals everything. Time will take care. No. Okay. So you need to know how to manage your time productively, because we take time for granted and always blame others for things going wrong. But I will say the person concerned himself or herself is mainly responsible for his poor usage of time. And universal fact is all works consume time and no work also consumes time. You have to prepare a time log. You can also schedule your list of activities in advance before going to bed or before leaving the office. You can prepare a list of to do things for next day. Now next day you have allotted some work, you are monitoring after 2 hours, and before leaving the office you can strike off those activities which you have completed and add some more activities for the next day. So in this you will become an organized personality and you will be motivated. Don't procrastinate, don't postpone things on to next day. Reward yourself. Scare yourself with the negative consequences of not doing it. Love yourself. You see, you can love and respect others only if you love and respect yourself and have faith in your abilities. Yes, I can do it. These are my strengths, these are my weaknesses, and from whom I can learn to overcome these weaknesses. You should have the guts to, you see, learn from your junior colleague also. देखिए आपने एमई की आपसे आज से 20 साल पहले. Now this new gentleman had joined recently. उसके पास enough information है. So you should not feel, you should not hesitate to learn from your students or from your junior colleagues. Maintain self-discipline. Self-discipline basically is a gap between what you want to do and what you actually do. So instead of daydreaming, put in real effort to reach your goals effectively. Don't feel failure. And friends, keep learning, read and try to take in everything you can. You see, you have to, you can learn from the Google, you can learn from your students. So keep learning. You see, old crow, he was in the habit of putting pebbles in the pitcher to get water, but the modern crow has learned how to drink water with the help of a straw. So keep upgrading your skills, help others, or you can swap tasks with a colleague. You surround yourself with positive thoughts and people and create an accomplishment log. So how did you like this video? Wonderful. Thank you. You see, this video has got 5 major attributes. It says, first of all, it began with the one remark that at 200 to 11 degree, the water was hot, and at 212 degree, water start boiling, and it gave rise to steam, and steam has given input to the locomotive engine or train. Okay, it says that it is just a matter of 1 degree of extra effort that makes the good thing best thing. Okay, so you have to put in 100%. So, and then it says that 212-degree attitude, 212-degree belief, yes, I can do it, 212-degree focus, 212-degree kindness, and 212-degree perseverance. Lage raho. Okay, so you have to put in your 100%. And friends, let me tell you, all the three, knowledge, skills, and attitude, are required for an all-round personality, but it is the attitude that contributes to your success. नॉलेज को अल्फाबेट्स आप काउंट करेंगे, स्किल के करेंगे, एंड एटीट्यूड के करेंगे, यू विल फाइंड दैट एटीट्यूड will have 100. Okay, so let me share one finding of one university. It says that your this is by Harvard University, that your attitude contributes to your success. That is, if you get a job or promotion, 85% of the time it is because of your attitude, and 15% of the time it is because of your knowledge or experience. So you have to manage your attitude to self motivated. Now another video I want to show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for appreciating the beautiful small videos. So now share with all of us the techniques you have employed for motivating yourself and techniques for motivating your colleagues or your subordinates. Please share with all of us. Can you share some of the techniques? Anamika ji, you want to say
Thank
yes, Anamika ji?
yes, Professor sir, thank you very much. एक्चुअली वो जो 212 डिग्री वाला था वाटर वाला
हाँ जी.
वो बहुत ज्यादा मोटिवेटिंग था। मतलब यूं लग रहा था कि अगर किसी बच्चे को लग रहा हो कि बस अब थक गया हूँ, तभी दिखाते ही वो एकदम से खड़ा हो जाएगा।
तो
तो
मैम ये
वो
कभी
मुझे
कभार ना मैं आपको
बहुत
बताता हूँ, गूगल पे ये सारी वीडियोस पड़ी यूट्यूब पे. एज ए टीचर यू कैन आइडेंटिफाई फॉर सम ऑफ टू
यस,
वीडियो. ये 2-3 मिनट्स की हैं. कभी क्लास बोरिंग हो रही है ना, तो उस समय आप इसको दिखा दीजिए, या यू
हाँ
कैन
जी।
नोट डाउन इट्स लिंक एंड यू कैन पास ऑन दैट लिंक टू द स्टूडेंट्स इन देयर व्हाट्सएप, अगर आपने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बनाया हुआ है.
नहीं, शायद ये एट सर्टेन टाइम ज्यादा इफेक्टिव रहेगी, तो मुझे लगता है हमें ही दिखानी होंगी।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, हाँ जी. नहीं
थैंक
ठीक
यू
है
सर।
मैम. ऐसा है, आपको ना जैसे मैंने पहले बोला था, यू कैन नॉट फोर्स योर स्टूडेंट्स टू लर्न. You can always make them want to learn by sorting your technique of teaching. तो उसके लिए आपको कुछ वीडियोस भी इनबिल्ड करने हैं. तो YouTube पे 1 मिनट से लेकर 1-1 घंटे तक के वीडियोस आर अवेलेबल. Please identify. If you can integrate in the class, it is okay. If you cannot, you can pass on the links to the students. हाँ जी, और कोई?
सर थैंक यू।
चरणजीत सिंह जी, ये थिंकिंग करने वाली बात नहीं है. आपने कहा मैं थिंक कर रहा हूँ फॉर टेक्निक्स. वो तो आपको पता है कि मैं कैसे मोटिवेटेड रहता हूँ. व्हाट डू यू डू? एक तो टेक्निक है दैट यू डू, यू आर एंजॉयिंग ऑल दी एक्टिविटीज. ओके, दैट गिव्स यू मोटिवेशन. अगर आप इंजॉय कर रहे हैं, if you are entering the classroom with an attitude, I'm going to enjoy my people, definitely your students would love to you see learn from you. वो आपकी फेस से झलकेगा when you enter the class and you are giving a smile at them. Okay, and not with an attitude, oh today again there is a class. We have to enjoy each and every moment. तो वो खुद भी आप मोटिवेटेड रहेंगे, आपके जो दूसरे कुलीग्स हैं या स्टूडेंट्स हैं, दे विल आल्सो बी मोटिवेटेड. और आपकी बॉडी में एनर्जी झलकनी चाहिए, एकदम से स्ट्रेट खड़े होके. डोंट स्टैंड स्टेशनरी ऑन द लेक्चर स्टैंड. सो ब्रिंग पर्पसफुल मूवमेंट्स. कभी आप लेफ्ट में धीरे से चले गए, वहां पर यू विल बी फेसिंग दैट सेक्शन ऑफ द सोसाइटी क्लास. फिर मिडिल में चले गए, राइट साइड में गए, जेस्चर यूज किए, और फिर आपने आई कांटेक्ट सबके साथ एस्टेब्लिश किया. दीज आर सम ऑफ द टिप्स टू यू सी मेक योर स्टूडेंट्स मोटिवेटेड. सो अभी तक आपने कोई भी जो है अपने आप को मोटिवेट करने का नहीं सोचा कि कैसे मोटिवेट हुए हो आप? डॉक्टर सरोज जी, यस, रिकॉग्नाइजिंग द स्टूडेंट्स बाय यूजिंग नेम्स. वंडरफुल. मैंने आपको एक टिप बोला था, प्लीज call your student. आज आपने roll call by name ली, you will be able to remember the names of 2-3 students. Next day again more students. So build up a system, put in some effort and try to remember the names of your student, because a person's name is to him or her the most important and most sweetest sound. Thank you very much.